Host and I do models. How is everyone doing today? Today we're looking at the Switch. I believe this is part 3 of my super slow going series of fixing a Switch on camera, actually doing some motherboard repairs. But I got a cool little thing here. This is a USB-C power meter. I didn't have a way to test the boards for power consumption and whatnot, so I got a official Nintendo plug, and then I have this power meter, plugs in here USB-C, and then this will plug into the bottom of the Switch, and I can see how much power it is drawing. So we are going to do that here in a bit. But I want to show you what else I got here for this Switch. I have a set of 4 Joy-Cons here, one set and 2 sets here. They're pretty grimy and dirty. We're just gonna lighten this up a little bit. They're pretty grimy and dirty, and the joysticks in this one need to be replaced, so I am going to replace the joysticks in all 4 of them and include them in my refurbishments of when I get just a tablet. I'm going to include the joysticks, so I'll be refurbishing these and taking a look at them. I already loosened the back screws, and I don't remember which one I've taken the battery out of. I unhooked the battery in this one and took a look to see how difficult it would be to change the the joystick in here. So I'm going to be doing that later in this video or in the next video. But let's bring back our switchboard here. We have our switchboard. I did my rework on the capacitor. I'm going to take this Kapton tape off here. I hope I'm going to take this Kapton tape off. So I'm going to get in here and I'm going to carefully cut away this Kapton tape. Because what I want to do is I want to test the power consumption, and I also want to see if I have power coming in on the pins of this USB-C port. I only need to check the pins on one side. I can't check the pins on the other side. So now I don't need the microscope. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get my switch case out, and I have my pentaloop screws, need my 00 here, and I am going to get my set of nifty little screws here that is completely faded out. Alright, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, and I'm going to put this sucker back together temporarily, and then we're going to test the, so this goes, this goes in here like so. There's a cable right here that needs to be lifted up. Okay, so this cable needs to go up here, not like that. Oh, you know what? It has to go in down like this because of the USB port. So I've never taken the motherboard out of this switch before, so this will be a new thing putting it back together. So make sure I get all these cables up here. Okay, so that looks like all the cables. So let me plug in some stuff here. That. Let me flip up this little thing, not busting any components. Still has a little bit of flux on the board, but I'm not done with this area, so I'm going to wait to clean the board. I'm going to go ahead and put some of the motherboard screws in it. Motherboard screws. Okay. Now I'm not sure what this does, but I'm going to hook this one up. I'm going to hook that up. And then I might as well plug this in. No, I'm not, yeah, I might as well plug it in. I don't want it flopping around. I believe that's the Bluetooth antenna, and then this is the Wi-Fi antenna. There we go. Attempt to plug in this ribbon cable here gently. This is for the LCD. Almost had it. This one's tricky. I don't want to damage any of the pins on it. Okay, let me hook up the power button here. It's the power button. And let me put the flash on. So the flash is on, and we will put the game cartridge on. that digitizer is a whole lot easier than the screen, the LCD. Okay, so we have a rail that I'm not worried about. We have a power, and we have the fan that I'm not worried about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this generic battery that I don't even know is good, but I will find out later. So I got some new batteries coming, and I also have a switch coming that works, that I got for a good price. That's going to be my known good switch. Okay, so I have this hooked up. It should be just like it was if it was going to work if there was no issues with it. I'm going to put these 2 USB screws in because I'm going to be plugging something into the USB port. Alright, so now I'm going to take my power meter here, and I'm going to plug my power meter in to the switch here. I know it's not going to turn on, but I want to see if this draws any kind of power whatsoever. So it is drawing 28 milliamps just plugged in. So it does. And it's asking for 15 volts, so I am going to flip this over and see if it does the same thing from this side. Yeah, it does the same thing from this side. So 28 milliamps. That is... Now, I want to see... Okay, so we have 28 milliamps. That could be it trying to charge a flat battery. Let's see what happens when we hit the power button. Now, holding down the power button doesn't do anything. Okay, so that is 15 volts at 28 milliamps. There could be a short somewhere that, we could try to look at with the thermal camera, but I'm going to unhook this temporarily here, and I want to unhook this battery. And then I want to see what it draws without the battery, if it even will draw any current. Okay, so it doesn't even draw. So it draws the same amount of current with that battery. Now what happens when we press the power button? Nothing comes on. There's not even a little connected charge thing. So, like I said, I don't think the LCD is bad, because it would jump in current if I turn when I hit the power button, and I think it would draw more if it was charging the battery. Now this could be a super flat battery, but with the battery disconnected, it drawing the same. There's an issue with either this charge chip or this battery management chip. And the battery management chip has been changed. I thought I had a bad capacitor, but I was wrong. It was my mistake. I made that mistake in the last video. And then, I'm learning this motherboard repair, so I'm going to make mistakes, but hopefully I can fix them. So, I believe this M2 chip is the HDMI audio video chip. And then the P13 USB chip on the back. Let me look at my diagrams here. Yeah, there's the battery charger chip down there. Okay, so this is the M92T36. It's the USB Type-C power delivery. So that could be my next problem I want to check. So let's check the back of the board. And then there's the USB 3 DP1.2 matrix switch. It doesn't say what that does. And then there's also a power management chip, an MAX77320. So I'm not sure if that could be an issue. Let me take, oh, that's on the other side of the board. So I am going to pause here. I am going to pull this board out and see if I can just connect the board and get the 28 milliamps with nothing else connected, and see if I can see any heat with the thermal camera. And then also I want to check on this Max 77620 chip and see if they go bad and if that they're difficult to change back. I just wanted to pop back in here on this power management chip, this Max 77620. That is a BGA chip, and they are quite expensive. So I am going to try to track down a seller of those that are balled with leaded balls. But I did order a stencil from China. I've done some reballing before for practice, but I ordered a stencil from China. It'll take a couple weeks to get here, actually about 3 or 4 weeks to get here. But I'm gonna look into that, and I'm gonna try this other stuff first, and then if not, I can always pull that chip, reball it, or pop a new one on there to see if that's an issue. But I'm going to do some more research first and see if that chip does tend to have an issue, because we do seem to have a little bit of a power management issue. It seems like the charge port's working, so it seems like we could have a power management issue. So I'm going to look into this a little bit more. That'll be in another video, but I'm going to then now continue to disassemble this back again and do some more testing. Okay guys, I got the board back out here, and then I'm going to plug in the meter and see if we still get we still get the 28 milliamps here. So I am going to get the thermal camera set up here. So let's grab the flare. Okay, so let's plug this in here like so. Takes a minute till the light is on. Okay, so there we go, we got the board. Okay, that metal shield is reflecting. Let's check the other side. Okay, let's plug this in and see if anything gets hot. So let's see what we have here. Things washing out. Let's check this side here. Getting the reflection from the I don't see any heat spots. Let me turn on this spot thing. let's see what this is. 24. So, like I said, I don't see anything getting hot on this board at all. It makes me wonder if there's even a, if it's, I don't believe it's a short. If it is, it's a large. If it was a larger short, I think it would be drawing more current. But see, there is the USB chip, P13 USB. It's not getting hot. And then here is the power management chip right here. And it doesn't seem to be getting any hot. The whole board seems to not have any kind of warmth on it whatsoever. I mean, even over here. I mean, the USB is getting hot, but you know, that battery management chip is not getting hot. So, USB port shiny, so that's going to show heat. So, it's got to be just, you know, it could just be a faulty chip. So, 15 volts at 28 milliamps, you know, that should technically produce some heat, but, you know, it's not a lot, but it, you know, at 15 volts is 15 volts, so. You know, so let me get this out of the way here. So, alright, so that is the heat test on it. So I am really at a loss other than, do I just swap some chips on here? Do I swap that battery management chip? Do I swap this chip here and this chip here in hopes that it will work? Because that battery management chip looks like, or the power management chip looks like would be a beast. Let's look at that. Let's look at that under the microscope here. Where's it at? Right there. So that chip right there is the power management chip. That is a BGA chip, so it has the balls on the bottom of it. And I did order a stencil, so, but, you know, just a cursory search of, see, those capacitors look grimy. See how grimy those capacitors look? See, these capacitors here look clean, but these around this power management chip look grimy. So, I'm going to check those, and I'm going to see if I can find a video of anybody changing this chip and to see what it details, because I've changed chips on things before, and I installed chips on things, but in BGA, I've done some BGA practicing to make the chips, but I've never actually installed them on a board. But, you know, after I exhaust all my resources of the stuff that's easy, you know, if it's just not working, it could become like a donor board, and what's the harm in trying to pull that chip? So, but, you know, I was hoping that it would go bad to a short, but I am going to, I'm going to make this a short video. We really didn't work on anything. We just kind of discussed what was going on, but I want to do some research on this Max chip, and and find out if that is a fault that tends to happen with the symptoms that we have on this with the 28 milliamps and stuff. So I'm going to diagnose that and find out, and in the next video I will let you know what I come up with, and we're probably going to hook the power meter back up to it and read some voltages on some things. I found some partial doodadded schematic stuff that, give me the layouts of the pins of the chips, so I should be able to look at that and know if power is getting to or coming out of the chip. Data and clock lines I could put on the oscilloscope and things like that, but I want to see if power is getting to the battery management chip and what the battery management chip is doing with that power. So I'm not going to trace all that out on camera. I'm going to do all that, and then when I come up with my findings, or if I don't come up with anything, I'll share it with you. Either way, I'll share with you the process I went through, so you guys can, criticize me and poke fun at me. But that's going to do it for this, guys. Social media, Patreon, thank you so much